Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a young boy named Timmy. Timmy had a big heart and a gentle spirit, but he carried a sadness that weighed heavily on his shoulders. You see, Timmy had lost his parents at a very young age and had been living with his elderly grandmother ever since. Timmy's grandmother, Granny May, loved him dearly and did her best to provide for him. However, they struggled to make ends meet. They often went to bed hungry, and Timmy had to wear tattered clothes that were far too big for him. Despite their circumstances, Granny May always smiled and tried to create a warm and loving home for Timmy. One winter, the village was hit by a terrible snowstorm. The snow fell relentlessly, covering the village in a thick blanket of white. The villagers huddled in their homes, seeking warmth and safety. Timmy and Granny May, however, had no choice but to brave the storm. Desperate to find food and warmth, Timmy ventured out into the freezing cold. He trudged through the snow, his small body shivering from the biting wind. With every step, his hope flickered like a dying flame. After what felt like an eternity, Timmy stumbled upon a small cottage hidden in the woods. He knocked on the door, his hands trembling with cold. A kind old woman named Mrs. Jenkins opened the door and welcomed him inside. Mrs. Jenkins was touched by Timmy's story and offered him a warm meal and a cozy bed. As Timmy ate his first hot meal in days, he couldn't help but feel a glimmer of happiness. Mrs. Jenkins saw the sadness in his eyes and gave him a small teddy bear, hoping it would bring him comfort. Timmy stayed with Mrs. Jenkins for a few days, feeling a sense of belonging he had never experienced before. But deep down, he knew he had to return to Granny May, who must be worried sick about him. When Timmy arrived home, he found Granny May lying in bed, weak and frail. She had fallen ill while he was away, and there was no money for medicine or a doctor. Timmy held her hand, tears streaming down his face, as he whispered how much he loved her. In the following days, Granny May's condition worsened. Timmy did everything he could to take care of her, but he felt helpless. One cold night, as the snow continued to fall outside, Granny May took her last breath. Timmy was left alone, his heart shattered into a million pieces. The villagers, learning of Granny May's passing, came together to support Timmy. They provided him with food, warm clothes, and a place to stay. Despite their kindness, Timmy couldn't shake the overwhelming sadness that consumed him. As the years went by, Timmy carried his sorrow with him. He grew into a kind and compassionate young man, always offering a helping hand to those in need. But deep inside, he still longed for the warmth and love he had lost. Though his heart remained heavy, Timmy found solace in helping others, knowing that his acts of kindness could make a difference in someone else's life. And in those moments, he would catch a fleeting glimpse of happiness, even amidst the sadness that surrounded him. Timmy's story serves as a reminder that life can be filled with heartache and loss, but even in the darkest of times, a glimmer of hope can be found in acts of kindness and compassion. It teaches us that while sadness may linger, it is our ability to touch the lives of others that brings meaning and purpose to our own.